But what the? Ah! We got movies night! Ah! Help me! Actually, it is with Easter basically over, except for most of the church season, which is still somewhat Easter, but not at the same time. And it's kind of one of those things that I'm going to review the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, starring Gene Wilder, Jack Albertson, and Roy Kinnear, or as I like to call him, England's answer to John Candy. And not only because he's bad, but he
Really wasn't that fat.
really
Overweight, sure, but not like a big fat.
yeah. So it was produced by
Imps.
no David L. Walter, the guy who gave us Jack Potter and Roots, the series.
Right.
One of the three things that LeVar Burton's famous for. The other Green Rainbow and
Star Trek.
yeah, Star Trek. The Next Generation.
Yeah.
So, so the film begins. The film is actually filmed in Munich, Germany, and it starts off with a bunch of kids. The class is dismissed, and then they're all going to the candy store, and there's this the pink Sammy Davis Jr. Outback. Sammy Davis Jr. actually wanted to have that role.
Because did he do that song before? Or did the movie come out and then he did the song later?
I think it might have been the latter or the former.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to find
Oh,
out.
it's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah. So and, so here we see our one of our protagonists, Charlie Bucket, looking at all the kids at the candy store, but he knows that business before pleasure, so he
Because he's got work to do.
yeah,
Got his paper route.
Yep, paper out, and then that when sun came down, he sees the chocolate factory, and some tinkers like nobody ever goes in, nobody ever comes out. Sounds like one of the members of
Well, anybody who comes in never comes in, right?
right. So that back home,
Buy your knives here, knife guy.
Mrs. Bucket is taking care of her bedridden parents and in-laws. So Grandma Georgina, Grandpa George, Grandma Josephine, Grandpa Joseph, or Grandpa Joe, who is has the better role, played by Jack Albertson, same guy who's in Chico and the Man.
Oh, really? Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's cool.
Yeah, he was the guy who always looked out after Freddie Prinze's character, half Hungarian, half Puerto Rican.
Right.
True Hungarian. So, well, true, but so Charlie is so Grandpa Joe gives Charlie his soup, which is just basically cabbage soup, and it's like
integrity cabbage water. Oh, eat cabbage water.
so he has a loaf of bread. Everyone was wondering.
Because he bought a loaf of bread.
Yeah, he bought a loaf of bread, and he gives some of his mother money, and she's now a widow for some apparent reason. I think the father probably got trapped in the toothpaste factory thingy because like he fell in there, or he's on vacation because that means you go somewhere you never come back. No, that's another film. I'll sound like Psycho more than Forrest Gump. But yeah, Charlie gives Grandpa Joe some tobacco money, but he decides to quit. But that night, Charlie was concerned about what he thought the chocolate factory, and so Grandpa Joe gives the backdrop of Willy Wonka, why he is doing what he's doing. So for a while, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory was successful, and then Slugworth came by, and he's like, "I am ruined!" So
Slugworth's the one who ruins them?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And so he closes the factory temporarily for a couple years, and then Candy comes back, and Willy Wonka doesn't have anyone come in or out. But so the next day, at school, Charlie is with his teacher, who is some British teacher, and they find out that Willy Wonka's opening the factory, but only 5 can go in. But to get it, you gotta have
a golden ticket.
Yes. So Wonka Mania is all over the place. Not as big as Beatlemania, but even Richard Nixon bought a few Wonka bars. I'm not a crook. There's no Wonka bars. Don't get the golden ticket.
That's not actually in the movie, is it?
No. Suck it to me.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah. So the first ticket is one, and there's even psychologists who had this dream about getting a golden ticket, and Sigmund Freud is not.
Right. Just tell me where the ticket is.
Yep. And actually, the first ticket was found somewhere in West Germany by a kid named Augustus Gloop, or shall we say Augustus von Gloop.
Augustus Gloop. I like to eat.
Yeah, and basically his
big fat dad eating, big fat mom's eating.
Yeah.
Everybody's just eating.
Yeah, he's eating a microphone, and because they have a successful sausage factory, and Antler Man is doing the movie film.
It's one of the funniest shots in the film.
Right.
The antlers are just right behind the reporter's head.
I think it was done on purpose. But so next day is Charlie's birthday, and the ladies make Charlie I'd say Brown. I mean Charlie Bucket a scarf, and the men give Charlie Bucket a candy bar, and it's like, oh, I didn't get gold tickets, but anyone want my birthday?
He shares the chocolate with the people who've been bedridden for 20 years.
But they said, no, you have it. So we go to the second winner, which is Assault. Think about Greta Thunberg. But she's the one with the dad who sells used cars, right? No.
That's the other one.
This is the father this is Mr. Salt, the nut company. He played by Roy Kinnear. Same guy who played Algernon from Help.
Oh, I always flipped those two dads, because I always forget the gum chewing girl has the dad who's the used car salesman.
Yes, and you've seen Help. And so
it's funny.
Tears or something like that, which was a Blake Edwards film, but Kinnear fell off his horse, and then he passed on for. So, and one of the workers at Salt's Nuts finds the golden ticket, and then so next up we have. Let's see. Now. The demand is high, but the supplies are low. Even the news people are mad, because there's even signs in English, German, and Japanese saying that the supplies are not here. And again, the demands are excruciating high. And then you get this computer guy who's like Peter Tork, and he's like, what would I do with some chocolate, and I will not help you. That would be cheating.
Yeah, that was a pretty good insight into the intelligence of computers and stuff. That was a funny joke.
Yeah, so the third ticket winner is the used car salesman, Samuel Beauregard, in Miles City, Montana.
Yeah.
And Violet's Beauregard, she's the one who actually passed on a couple of years ago. The woman who played
Violet, yeah.
Yeah, but she'd always chew gum, and she'd stick it behind her ear, but she says, I chewed this for 3 months.
I mean, what's the point in that even?
Well, actually, I heard somebody who chewed it even longer. Like, try 3 decades.
I mean, to chew the same piece. There's no flavor left.
Yeah.
I mean, it's well, there's more gum. There's other gum. Are you that cheap?
Yeah, but in the remake, it's like, I wouldn't be a loser then. Because that is the other Violet.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the remake.
Yeah, we have it somewhere, but now we see Charlie's mom doing the laundry, I wonder if she does laundry as well.
Water, cabbage water in the same bucket that she does. Saves time. Sure that.
So, and then there's this musical montage where Charlie walks home in the dark by himself in Munich. So the fourth ticket winner is Mike TV, who's from somewhere in Arizona. And interestingly enough, the guy who played Mike TV wound up becoming 12 because the father says, "I'm not going to give you a cold until you're 12, son." He probably would.
Oh, wait, he was 12 during the movie, the actor?
Well, he turned 12.
During the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the actor could have had a real gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so there was also a scene where in England they were auctioning off the final box of golden tickets, and Queen Elizabeth II buys them.
Well, the final box of chocolates that could contain the. Yeah. It's a funny because it's just a shot of the auctioneer, and he says, "Oh, the Queen," or what does he call her?
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Because it was a silent auction. Because this is a silent auction.
Yeah.
And so Queen Elizabeth bought them all. And then there's also this rant guy who her husband was missing, and it was like a ransom call.
Oh yeah.
Like a ransom note. It's either
he wants your case of chocolates.
And then she says, "How long can I think about it?" Right. Well, she didn't have to think that long because the fifth and final ticket supposedly was found in Paraguay, South America, and newscaster Bronson Pinchot shows the picture of him.
And he was an adult, right?
Right.
So an actual adult winner. Thus far, all the other winners had been children.
Mm-hmm. But even beforehand, Charlie even said, "Oh, I think the golden ticket would make the candy taste bad." But But the next night, like somebody's blowing smoke in his eyes, so he cry. So
so he's laying there in bed crying, and the magic trick, not magic trick, but movie trick, is that they're blowing smoke in his face.
Yes. And so the next day, the Monty Python wannabe guy is talking about percentages. 2? How can you open only 2 golden tickets?
Right, because he's what? Is it out of 1,000?
Yes.
Right, so 100 out of 1,000, that's 10%. 150 out of 1,000, that's 15%.
It'd be a decimal.
2 out of 1,000? I can't do that math. Well, technically you can. It's 0.02 or whatever it is, right?
And Charlie's like, "Oh, why am I in public school again? Your tax dollars at work, people." But
yeah, it's good to know that England's public schools suck too, at least in the early 70s.
So Charlie finds this pound note or something.
He's just sitting in the gutter,
and he gets a scrumdiddlyumptious bar, and now the Candyman said, "Hey, take it easy. You'll get a stomachache." But why did he tell the kids that in that first scene?
Oh, he did. And this is the thing that bugs me about that first scene is I see no monetary transactions going on there. So I get, you're right, is that Charlie, he's headed off to work because work's more fun than having to, more important, make money for his mom and his family than having a good time. And obviously his mom must be a slave or something. She thinks she'd get paid something for her clothes washing job. But anyway, so he's there and he's doing that. And working, and all these kids are just eating all this chocolate. I don't see them giving the Candyman any money, as he's borderline a pedophile, just giving all these kids candy. And it's like, yes, come to my shop. No, you want to check out the back of the room? It's who can make the sun shine. How about you check out where the sun don't shine, kids?
Okay, well, Charlie asks for another candy bar. Then he gets a regular one, and the
guy convinces him to take the regular one. He's like, "Oh, it's not like there's a ticket anymore." And but it's displayed perfectly nicely. He takes the display one. It's like Willy Wonka somehow magically put it there himself.
And then the thing is that then there's an outcry of the fifth and final ticket.
Maybe the Candyman was involved. Anyway, go ahead.
Was a fake.
Right, he sees it on a TV outside, right?
No, newspaper.
Is that a newspaper?
The guy who looks like Francisco Franco.
Well, you mean the gambling cretin or whatever he was? That was a fake one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what
And
was
then-
the new thing that you put up? I heard you banging earlier. What was that?
Oh, I put this back up.
Back
watching
up.
candidates.
Okay.
And then Charlie
All right, it's not a
says, like,
shot.
I got the fifth and final ticket. And then he runs home and, Slug works there. So, I hear you got the fifth and final golden ticket.
Yeah, he stops him in a dark alley.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'll give you 10 grand if you give me the secret to the everlasting gobstopper.
Right.
So he runs back home, and Grandpa Joe is like, really, you found the real golden ticket? And then he gets out of bed and he starts dancing.
You know, we just spent 20 years just being a jerk laying around with all those other jerks. And then, you know, Charlie gets a golden ticket. Oh, you get a shot at, you know, a lifetime of chocolate. Oh, I'll do a stupid little dance. What a jerk. Bunch of jerks.
And then so Charlie has to get ready for tomorrow, which would be the big day. And
which, getting the last golden ticket the night before, again.
Yeah.
It's movie magic.
So now we go to our intermission. I encourage you to buy Willy Wonka, rent Willy Wonka, stream Willy Wonka, and if you get Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in any of those, I'm saying why?
Yeah, that's too bad. Like, really, that's the remake. 05, Johnny Depp. Just it's weird.
Tim Burton.
Yeah. Well, if you really feel like doing it, so you can compare the two, watch the first one first.
Yes.
The 1971 classic.
Mm-hmm.
Even though neither of them are really all that true to the book. Read the book.
Okay, or read the book.
Read a damn book, people. Although, you know, watch the rest of this episode.
So, we have other shows as well. Tomorrow we'll be doing the top 16, and our list will be. I'm going to go to the TV one, the continuing of which was supposed to be last month, but I decided to do it this month because last month there was this whole cancel culture with Mr. Peppy here, and because the winner of our the cartoon Final Four of Everything and Anything. If I'm sure many people, 12 to 14 people watch that, and maybe, and who knows, there's probably going to be the Warner Brothers sports show as well, and also the Craptastic movie shorts, an album cover, TV Caesar, all here on the Warner Brothers Broadcasting Network. So click subscribe, click the like button, click the notification, and hit that button. So now we get to the part where we see Willy Wonka, and it's like Baruka's like, I want to be the boss to be here now. And Goose is eating, obviously. And Violet Beauregard's showing her, saying like, ha ha, I got in and you didn't. And Samuel Beauregard trying to run for president or something. And then Willy Wonka comes in, played by Gene Wilder. And welcome, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the Chocolate Factory. And so he's little surprises everywhere, but nothing dangerous. So his coat hangers have. Now that'd be a cool thing, but I don't know if that would ever work. Have the hands automated hangers that look like hands. That'd be an interesting thing to have.
Yeah, if that were a real life thing, that'd be neat.
Yeah, and then there's like this contract that all 5 of the children had to write the sign, otherwise they don't go in the factory. And so Willy Wonka mentions like an ivory quote, 99, 44, 100% pure. And so they go into this optical illusion room and another optical illusion to another one, which is just a bunch of doors where it's like either the room's getting smaller or he's getting bigger. So he's done it again. It's like all the other parents are like, what? Except for Grandpa Joe saying, this guy is nuts. And then Willy Wonka's combination is a Mozart piece. It's not Rachmaninoff, it's Mozart. And then welcome to the chocolate factory. And Willy Wonka sings Pure Imagination and eats a cup of teacup, which is made out of wax. And then they head to the Chocolate River, which looked like the Cuyahoga River at the time the movie was made in 1971.
If only it were to set fire.
Yeah. And they can roast marshmallows and.
Oh, I believe that's my ride.
Okay, I'll take it from here, and I will see you soon.
Tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
All right.
Well,
have a good rest of the show.
All right then. So then you get to see Oompa Loompas.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like one of them was probably Donald Trump, because Oompa Loompa. Except Trump's hair was actually green at one point. Yeah. So Augustus was the first one who couldn't resist his eating habits, so he's drinking the chocolate, which is actually, he probably isn't doing it. The guy who's doing it isn't really drinking it because it's actually rancid milk and cocoa powder and water. So being the pig that Augustus is, falls into the chocolate water and gets sucked in through one of the pipes. And he winds up at the fudge room, and Ms. Gloop is like, Ach, mein Gott, I'm Heimel! Oh, mein Gott, I'm Heimel! He's going to be up to marshmallow soon! What? That goes to the fudge room, not to the marshmallow room! And so the Oompa Loompas give us the Oompa Loompa song saying that if you eat too much, you're gonna have problems along the way. So yeah. And sometimes it's actually true. Obesity is a problem. So Willy Wonka's speaking in French, and the Willy Wonka boat and the Wonka's boat is something that is shown to the people, and the Oompa Loompas are, and this is the family film in a way, except for this part for the most part, because there's like eyes looking at you, millipedes running over dead people, chickens getting their heads cut off, crabs and lizards and other bizarre things, and even Slugworth pops up. And then Willy Wonka is doing, well, Gene Wilder's actually doing an improv at this point because nobody really wanted, because I think this was later in the script that he goes and saying, and this is what makes Gene Wilder awesome with this film, because he makes the film. It's like, wow. So it is kind of a freak out. And then he says, "You're right! Stop the boat! Leave!" And everyone died. No. They all are at this place, the inventing room. Their inventing room. And he says, no touching, no tasting, no telling. And a few people broke the rules. Baruka was one of them. Mike TV was one of them. Even Sam Beauregard even broke the rule by touching the secret machine, the Everlasting Gobstopper, which looks more different than the Everlasting Gobstoppers you get at the candy store. So Yeah, and he equaled everything up to 105%. And it's like, so the inventing room is kind of like a right brain thing, or is it left brain? The creative side of the brain, where the Oompa Loompas are making a lot of stuff, and the Oompa Loompas actually lived in Loompa Land, which they always got bombarded with nasty creatures that, like vicious canids, whatever those are. I can see that Terry Gilliam doing that part of Loompa Land, but yeah. So, but the worst of the bunch was when Willy Wonka showed them the thing that is a 3-course meal, and to Mr. Saul says, "Oh, bull! No roast beef. Well, it comes from the same animal. It does. Bull, the beef. It's what's for dinner." So, but Violet takes the gum and chews on it. It's like, tomato soup. The first course, which is the soup, and then the entree is roast beef, obviously, with a baked potato with sour cream or something, or butter or something. So, and the final course is a dessert. Blueberry pie with cream. Oh, or as let's see what they with Cool Whip. It's a Cool Whip. It's Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Okay, so Violet still is chewing the gum, and her face turns blue. And Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. And then she becomes a blueberry. She's starting to blow up, and so she has to be juiced, otherwise she could blow up, explode, just like Mr. Creosote in Monty Python. And Mr. Beauregard is irate. I got a blueberry for a daughter. So, after that fiasco comes part. So, Willy Wonka shows them lookable wallpaper in real life that everyone's looking at the wallpaper and it tastes like glue or paper or something like that. But he's saying, Willy Wonka's saying, try every flavor. There's banana, there's grape, there's apple, there's orange, and the snozberries too. Snozberry? Hey, what a snozberry! And so Willy Wonka tells Veruca, "We are the music makers." He does a lot of creativity goes into that place. Then there's the bubble room, which almost looks like they stepped into the Lawrence Welk show. Thank you, there is bubbles all over the place. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. But, so, the kids want to try the lifting drinks, which is what they are. But Grandpa and Charlie decide to try some out. And it's like, I'm a bird on a plane. I'm Superman. No, wait a minute. Help! Well, if there wasn't Grandma, we're gonna get chopped. Well, not really. If you the way the fan is or something like that, I don't know. They're up to that ceiling thing, that bump thing. Boom, probably hit that. But Grandpa Joe burps. It's like, burp, Charlie. And so this is like the only time that Charlie was giving permission to burp. Plus, Grandpa Joe's a grandfather, and you know how grandfathers are. They wouldn't let their kids get away with murder, but there's a grandpart in the parents, and there's a grandpart being a grandparent. Unless if, except for my
mom's parents, even though I like her, and even though they were okay, they're not those types of grandparents. They can't let you do anything, and we have one that just, I'm surprised that this was not my grand. And that's inspired me for the grandma I was going to make up, the one that goes. Okay, enough of that. So we get to the room with geese. The geese that lays the golden eggs. Originally, it was going to be squirrels, but they couldn't find a way to put that in the film or somewhat. If it's a good egg, it goes out. An omelet fit for a king. Chocolate Easter eggs. But Easter's over! They don't know that. But if it's a bad egg, down, shoot. And then Veruca's like, oh, I want the golden goose! And Charlie's like, oh god, here we go again. All right, Veruca, we'll get you a golden goose. Goose? No, I want one of those golden gooses! Oh, geese! Oh, whatever! All right, I'll get you one of those. But Willy Wonka stopped them. It's like, I'm afraid she can't have any. What? Why can't I have any? But then she gets to a musical montage like, I want it all now! She was a bad egg. And so Veruca's in the garbage chute, and which would lead to the furnace, which sounds not environmentally friendly. The EP would probably get on Willy Wonka's ass for that, but and then he's like, Veruca, I'm coming. So Grandpa Joe is like, well, Mr. Salt got what he wanted. And what's that? Veruca went in first. Charlie was a little bit worried with the Veruca and her father, but they move on. The Oompa Loompas have another song. They had one for Violet saying that gum is fine, but if you chew it, it's just a bad habit. For Veruca, it's like, if the kid is being real much of a brat, guess whose fault that was? Well, the thing is, Mr. Salt let Veruca walk all over him. And some parents would never have that fly. If their children walk over their parents, oh God. Yeah, that never happened to us, because if that happened to us, yeah, it's it'll be a belt for you, kid. Or what if you're a flautist and like Ian Anderson, like, I'll use your hind, I'll get medieval on your butt with my flute. Okay, that's okay. That's enough of that. I don't prone to that kind of stuff. You don't do that. So the TV, Ms. TV wants to sit down, but it's like Willy Wonka has some transportation for them, which is a Wonkamobile, which is filled with a lot of pop. Yeah, I'm from the Midwest, so in the Midwest we call it pop. On the East Coast and West Coast, you can call it soda, and if you're in the South, it's all cola. Even lemon lime is cola. It's cola. Shut up. So everyone's getting full of suds, which were cold in the real film, and then
they get cleaned up, and it's like, oh, that was the Wonka wash? Yeah, it was. It's spelled backwards. Even it sounds Japanese, but it's Wonka wash spelled backwards. So Willy Wonka decides to take them into this place where there's Wonka Vision. Yeah, this movie's filmed in Wonka Vision. I don't know, but so the Oompa Loompas take this giant candy bar and zaps through a camera, and my TV thinks he's Mr. Know-It-All. He thinks he's smarter than everyone, but well, the thing is, he's like, oh wow, I can go through that like that candy bar. I'm doing that. So, just like the candy bar, my TV gets zapped in the camera, the Wonka Vision thing, and then he's up to a million pieces, and he finally went through. Am I coming in clear? Mom, am I coming in clear? And it's like, oh great, he's unharmed. You call that unharmed? And so Mike TV has to go to the taffy pulling room, and Ms. TV faints. Another in the final Oompa Loompa song, saying that, why don't you just pick up a book? Yeah, we'll read Willy Wonka and Charlie and Chocolate Factory, the book by Roald Dahl, which actually he hated this, the way it's like, oh great, Hollywood messed this up. And so after that, Willy Wonka tells them, I hope you had a good time, and there's the door, you can go home now. Hello, what happened? Charlie and Grandpa Joe were really puzzled with this. So Grandpa Joe wonders what happened in a room that's cut in half. And Willy Wonka says they violated one of the policies. You stole the lifting crates! You bumped into the sea, which now has to get washed and sterilized, so you get nothing! Good day, sir! You lose! Grandpa Joe was furious. And Willy Wonka said, good day! And so Grandpa decides to get vengeance on Willy Wonka, but Charlie says, wait. Even though he was the poorest of the kids, he gives Willy Wonka his everlasting gobstopper. And Willy Wonka said, you won! Oh! And he's like, oh, come on, we got so much time, so little to do. You know what I mean. and Slugger comes in, which is actually Mr. Wilkinson all along. Because Mr. Wilkinson wanted to... So he works for Willy Wonka at all times. It's kind of a twist there. So then Willy Wonka shows them Charlie and Grandpa Joe the glass elevator. And Charlie pushes the red button, which Willy Wonka never pushed. And they decide they need to go as fast as they could and go through the glass ceiling, and you can see a picturesque view of Munich, where all the roofs are identical. Yes, German roofs are very identical. I've never been there, but I have a cousin who's German, so I wonder if he knows anything about scenes in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, even though he was around the Dortmund area, not the Munich area. But Willy Wonka said, remember the kid who had all he wanted? He lived happily ever after. and then you see the glass cylinder fly away. The end. And actually, this is one of the many films that is watched constantly. Now, when it came out in 1971, it was sponsored by Quaker Oats, and the Everlasting Gobstopper was a great success, but the Wonka bar, total failure. True. The other thing, Paramount actually made the film, not Warner. Paramount later sold to Warner Brothers in the late '70s, and that was when the movie got more successful. They used to play it a lot on Disney Channel, and it's become an Easter classic for many. And this is going to be on the top 16 films that flopped at the first try, but succeeded over years. Another's Christmas Story, the one with Ralphie Parker. Oh, fudge. Only I didn't say fudge. But yeah, that's another topic subject altogether. But so, and up until a couple years ago, the 5 people who did were in the film, the kids, the ones who played Augustus, Veruca, Violet, Mike, and Charlie, they still get together at Comic Con and what have you. I wouldn't be surprised they do it today. You've got mail. Yeah, I got mail. We've got mail. And so I wouldn't be surprised they'll have a picture of Violet Beauregard because she passed on, and the woman who did play Violet actually stopped chewing gum after that because she had to chew it throughout the entire. Because when she was a kid, she had to chew the whole gum and what have you. But Peter Ostrom, who plays the Charlie, is now a veterinarian in upstate New York. I don't make this stuff up. And the guy who plays Augustus is a lawyer in Germany. And I wouldn't be surprised he's a bilingual one too, because he speaks German as well as English. I wouldn't be surprised he does a couple polkas. And the thing is, in some ways, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is some compared to Dante's Inferno, because the deeper you go, the more cynical it is. Maybe. But I think it's more like the Seven Deadly Sins. Like, Augustus was a glutton, and his downfall was too much chocolate, too much candy, what have you. Violet Beauregard, her deadly sin was basically pride and envy. Excuse me, because she was proud of what she did, and like it's like not much envious, but some way she taunts the ones who have envy. Veruca's Salt, greed and anger. So, because she's always greedy with a lot of stuff, and then she gets angry when things don't go her way. Mike TV, sloth, because all he does is watch TV. I don't think any of them have lust. Well, they shouldn't, but so I don't know if lust, that part is in there too, but yeah, it's kind of some deadly sins in Willy Wonka. Actually, it could be a good. Like if I did a Bible study with the Hollywood, that should be one of them. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because of what happened. Like, might be some parables in there too. Like the Invitation, Golden Ticket, and Gene Wilder, he was Jewish, so that's the reason why the movie works, because of Gene Wilder's. Now going Wilder for nothing. And he showed it more in the Mel Brooks films. That would have been interesting if it was a Mel Brooks film, but it's done by another Mel. So, because in some places there is that Mel Brooks kind of humor in it, like the producer, like from the producers. It would have been also interesting if Harvey Korman was like Sam Beauregard or something. No, well, but that's if Mel Brooks directed it. They had Harvey Korman play either Mr. Salt or Sam Beauregard. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Well, that is all for. Come That is all for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, at least I was got sucked into chocolate. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, chocolate crow. Who'd eat chocolate crow? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, Servo, please. So, yeah. Our next film, which is going to be on next Tuesday's episode, is Major League. Yes. Because baseball's back, and why don't we review my favorite baseball film of all time? I have a reason for it because it has the Cleveland Baseball Club. Yeah, I'm calling them that because damn this cancel culture, but I'm part of the counter cancel culture. But as of now, I'm Paul Mr. Cleveland Warren, living in the city of Cleveland, in the state of Cleveland, in the United States of Cleveland, signing off.